Hey math kids, today we're going to look at some story problems that are related to the trig that we've been doing in class. Okay, so these are all crime scene investigation themed, um, so we'll just jump right in. Okay, so a shoe was left at a crime scene, specifically a high heel shoe. I don't know, something like that. Excuse my poor drawing skills. Okay, now they were able to collect the footprint, and so they know that the length of the footprint was 30 centimeters. And the style of shoe rises at a, let's say, 15-degree angle. We want to know how long the person's foot was. So in other words, we're asked about this dimension. Now we can also assume this is a right angle, and so that will allow us to use SOHCAHTOA. And based on this angle, we have the adjacent and the hypotenuse, so that's going to be a cosine. So if we do cosine of 15 degrees, that's going to equal adjacent over hypotenuse. So to solve for x, we need to flip both sides. Then we need to multiply both sides by 30. Those cancel. 30 times 1 is just 30. And then we go to our calculator, and we need to check our mode is in degrees. And then we do 30 divided by cosine 15. And we end up with 31.1. And since this was measured in centimeters, this would also be centimeters. And so that's the length of the person's foot. So if they caught a suspect, they could use that as evidence, possibly to convict them. Okay? All right. So now we're going to move on to another one. Okay, this one involves a stabbing. So here's the knife. Let's see. Let me get rid of it. All right. There's the knife. We have a 30 centimeter blade. It goes into the person's body 20 centimeters. And just make this look a little bit more like a dagger or something. Here we go. We want to know at which angle was the person who stabbed the other person. What were they holding the knife at? What angle? Okay, so if we focus on this angle, we have opposite and hypotenuse. So we go SOHCAHTOA. And if we have opposite hypotenuse, that's sine. So sine of theta, which we don't know, equals the opposite over the hypotenuse. So to undo sine algebraically, we do an inverse sine of both sides. These cancel. We're left with theta. And then we're going to use our calculator to figure out the inverse sine of 20 over 30. So we say second sine 20 divided by 30. We get 41.8. Since my calculator was set to degrees, that's what this would be. Okay, if you need additional help, please come to Math Lab. Until then, calculator.